Hi, and welcome back to Living Inspired with Autism. This is the podcast for parents who are raising autistic children and who want to create a calmer, more empowered, more intentional life without losing themselves in the process. I'm your host, Antoinette. I'm a life coach for parents of autism. I'm mom to my own autistic son, Max, and someone who deeply understands both the beauty and the intensity of this journey. Today, we are going to be talking about a couple of things that affect your life, your relationships, your emotions, your decisions, your exhaustion, your confidence. Today, we are talking about self-worth and self-responsibility. So I want to start with this. Self-worth is one of those concepts that really sound nice. But when someone says, love yourself, you're like, what does that even mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? Hug myself or write myself a letter? It feels vague and fluffy. And honestly, for many of us, it feels completely out of reach, especially if you're exhausted and overwhelmed and constantly managing behaviors and navigating other people's opinions and questioning yourself all the time. Today, we're going to make this very real, very grounded, and very powerful because your opinion of yourself is shaping your entire life. And if we don't clean that up, nothing else sticks. Simply, self-worth is your opinion of yourself. That's it. It's not your achievements or your parenting or your past or not what anyone else has ever said about you. Just your thoughts about you. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most of us think our self-worth was given to us by our parents, by our childhood, by our relationships, by our experiences. And yes, those things influenced our thinking, but they did not determine your worth. You were worthy the moment you were born. Full stop. There wasn't a test, there was no checklist. No, let's see how he or she does first. You didn't need to earn it. And here's the part that might surprise you. You can't lose it either. Not through mistakes or breakdowns or shouting at your child or failed relationships or guilt or shame. Nothing touches your worth. I want you to imagine pink diamond. Okay, and for the guys, a blue diamond. Rare, beautiful, expensive. Now, imagine someone looks at that diamond and says, no, I don't like it. Does the diamond lose value? No. It just means that that person has an opinion. That's it. And this is what you need to understand. Other people's opinions of you do not change your worth. They only reveal their thinking. Okay, so let's bring this into our world because I know what happens. You're out in public, your kiddos may be dysregulated, people are looking, someone makes a comment or gives you that look, you know the one I'm talking about. And in that moment, your brain goes, I'm not doing a good job. People think I'm failing. They think I don't know how to look after my child. I should be handling this better. And then you start questioning your worth, not just as a parent, but as a person. And I want to interrupt that pattern right here. Your child's behavior is not evidence of your worth. Your hard days are not evidence of your worth. Your overwhelm is not evidence of your worth. You are still the diamond, even on the messy days. Now, this is where most people get it wrong. They think, how could they build their self-worth? But you don't. You remember it, you uncover it, you stop arguing with it. Because what's actually happening is this. Your worth is intact, but your thoughts are covering it. Your brain is constantly offering you sentences like, I'm not good at this, or I'm always mess things up, or other people are doing better than me. And over time, you start believing those sentences as truth, whatever that sentence is for you. But they're not truth, they're just thoughts. So let's say you've had a few difficult experiences. Maybe you had a bunch of relationships that didn't work out. Maybe things haven't gone the way you planned, which is for most of us as parents of autism. And your brain might say, see, there's something wrong with you. But what if that's not the truth? What if the truth is you're showing up, you are trying, you are living, you are learning, you're growing? What if nothing's gone wrong? What if this is just your path unfolding? So instead of asking, what's wrong with me? I love a good question. Because your brain's always going to come up with answers. Ask yourself instead, how is this serving me? What am I learning here? What did I do well? How did I show up? Because your brain will always find the evidence for whatever you ask it to look for. Now let's talk about the second part, self-responsibility. This is where things come to a head, and also where most people resist, because it's so much easier to believe that other people, they made me feel this way. But the truth is, nobody makes you feel anything. Your feelings come from your thoughts. Whenever you feel something intense, say this to yourself. I'm feeling this way because of a sentence in my mind. Not because of your child or your partner or your circumstances, but because a thought, a sentence in your mind. And this is not about blame. This is about power. Because if someone else controls how you feel, you have to control them better. And good luck with it. But if your thoughts create your feelings, you can shift your experience without changing anyone else. That is power. Now, I want to be very clear here. This does not mean your life is going to be easy. It does not mean that your child's needs aren't real. It does not mean you shouldn't feel overwhelmed sometimes. It means even in a hard life, you still have emotional authority. And that is everything. Because when you take responsibility for your mind, you stop being at the mercy of everything and everyone around you. Here's another misconception. People think that once they learn this, they'll be sorted. No. This is a practice. Daily, sometimes hourly, because your brain will always try to go back to default. That's normal. Nothing has gone wrong. When you catch yourself spiraling, again, ask a question. Instead of saying, why am I like this? Say, there is that thought again. No drama, no shame, just awareness. And then just gently guide yourself back to yourself. You have the most powerful tool on the planet, your brain. It can create meaning. It can generate emotions. It can shape your reality. It can rewrite your story. And the moment you take responsibility for it, you take your power back. So let me leave you with this. You are worthy, not because of what you do, not because of how well you cope, not because of how your child behaves. You are worthy because you exist. And your only job is to start thinking like someone who knows that. All right, so if this episode is hitting you in the right spot, if you are recognizing yourself in this, if you are tired of feeling like you're not enough, and you are ready to take your power back in a real supported way, then I want you to invite you into my one-on-one coaching program, intensive, because this work, it's simple, but it's not always easy to do on your own. So together we will untangle your thinking, we will rebuild your self-trust, we will help regulate your emotions and help you become the calm, powerful leader in your own life. Not perfectly, but intentionally. Because you don't need to fix yourself. You just need to remember who you are. So please send me a message or email me to book your consult. And there will be a link to the calendar down below. So let's do this work together. All right, my friends, take care, and I will see you next week.